It literally took me just a few minutes and one very careful prompt to pull this entire video concept together from scratch. Today happens to be my kiddo's birthday, so happy birthday to my little guy, and I used that exact single prompt energy to create this short clip that looks and feels way bigger than the minimal time it actually took. People keep asking me, wait, you seriously made all of that with just one prompt? And yeah, that's absolutely the vibe we are going for. But here's the real secret. The trick isn't magic, it's all about structure and applying just a little bit of smart strategy. I have this quick story where someone handed me an apple, and suddenly everything got weird. People started talking about cash and intense fights, and it all spun into this whole scene that I managed to stitch together very quickly. The entire point here is that with the right structured prompt, you can generate a whole compelling narrative incredibly fast, which is what I'm about to walk you through. I'll show you exactly how I built that first clip, what pitfalls you definitely need to watch out for, and how you can not only create these videos, but actually turn them into ongoing, scalable content. That scaling part is crucial, and it's powered by a tool I've been using called Vizard, which saves insane amounts of time when you're trying to consistently pump out content for all your social platforms. First up in the process, getting access to the AI generator itself, which is usually the trickiest initial step for most people. If you want to try the latest models, like the powerful Google View V3, you just need to search for it and click on the official link, where there's usually a clear Try in Flow or Create with Flow button waiting for you. But before you ever hit that generate button, remember that you may need to subscribe to a free tier to even start experimenting with the service. Many of these services are fantastic and offer a free month upfront or even a special promotion for students, so definitely check those options out first. So you click subscribe, you select the free tier option, and usually you get a full month to test everything out without ever having to put in any credit card information. Pro tip time. I'll explain later on how students can sometimes strategically stretch that initial free period out for even longer than the standard 30 days. When you finally open up the main interface, you'll see your primary options listed. Typically things like text to video, frames to video, or image to video. For about 90% of the demos I show, I start with text to video because it gives you the absolute maximum creative control directly from a single written prompt. Also, and this is very important for consistent results, you should set the output count to just one video per prompt unless you are specifically experimenting with multiple variations at once. Now let's test out a prompt idea. Imagine a high-intensity, action-packed scene set right in a desolate post-apocalyptic wasteland. My actual prompt goes something like this. A high-intensity action scene set on a post-apocalyptic wasteland where a woman walks through the ruins, staggering and exhausted, clutching an almost empty water bottle. The dialogue part of that prompt specifically forces her to strain to speak, including the line, "Water, water. I need water, Shay. What did you do to my people?" If you happen to be using an older model, like the well-known V2, you might get fantastic visuals but zero usable audio, so always remember to switch to V3 quality to get that synced lip movement and sound. When the V3 result finally renders, the visual synchronization is often genuinely impressive, capturing everything from facial micro-expressions to perfect lip movement and body posture. However, you will immediately notice two key things. First, the system sometimes penalizes or censors certain words for policy reasons, so be careful to avoid any explicit slurs or overly violent commands. Second, the built-in voice pitch control is still imperfect, as the model will naturally bias the voice based on the character's look and the overall mood of the scene. If you absolutely need complete and total control over the final spoken voice, I use a reliable two-step trick. Generate the video in V3, download it, and then upload the raw audio track to a dedicated voice service like 11 Labs. From there, you can easily swap in a custom voice, fine-tune the pitch, adjust the exaggeration levels, and manage the stability until the voice sounds exactly how you envisioned it should. It's a super clean workflow that really only adds a few extra minutes to the entire creation process, which is totally worth the polish. Another major thing that dedicated creators care deeply about is maintaining character consistency across multiple different clips. If you want to build an ongoing story with the same protagonist popping up, you must keep the physical description identical across every single prompt you input. For example, be very specific. A woman wearing a worn olive green jacket over a faded black tank, ripped cargo pants, and dust-covered combat boots. And use that exact phrasing everywhere. Doing this drastically increases the likelihood that the model will keep her looking exactly the same across all your separate generation requests. Structure truly matters when writing, so I always break my entire prompt down into 4 essential parts: the physical description, the action, the scene, and any specific speech you want included. This means 1. What the character looks like. 2. What they are actively doing. 3. The environment and lighting of the scene. And 4. Any spoken dialogue placed inside quotation marks. That level of clarity is what tells the underlying model precisely what it needs to animate and render for your final shot. If you want to direct specific camera moves within the generation, you can actually add simple camera directions right into your main text prompt, like this example. Try adding something like, the camera tracks her from behind, then sweeps to our side, capturing the desolate landscape as wind and ash swirl around her feet. It won't always be pixel perfect, but the V3 model responds surprisingly well to standard camera language and direction cues. For motion that requires much more precise control, use the frames to video or image to video option, where you upload a still and then select curve-based moves like dolly in or orbit left. I tested this continuity approach by reusing that exact character description, but only changing the action and dialogue for a new scene where she says, "We will win this, Shay. I'm coming for you. You'll pay." The environment, her outfit, and all props stayed perfectly intact across both clips, which is exactly the desired outcome when you are building episodic content. Regarding music and sync, you can actually ask the model to generate a video based on a music performance within the prompt itself, which is wild. I specifically tried one prompt for a man on a lively Lagos street singing a powerful love song, and another for a rapper in Atlanta spitting bars about money, and the results were shockingly good. The lip sync quality for both was near proper music video quality, but for absolute control over the final vocal style, you can always generate and then replace the audio in your own editing software. Now, let's talk about animation styles, because V3 actually handles a lot of the 3D-ish and stylized animation requests pretty well these days. I tested this out by requesting a pixel-style 3D king and even a classic 2D cartoon chase gag, and the model delivered without all those usual morphing nightmares that plagued older versions. It's not flawless by any means, but for quick prototyping and generating solid, usable content, it is more than good enough for most creators. Also, you can specifically request background sound effects within your prompt, and the model will intelligently include them, which is incredibly handy for those short, immediately shareable clips. Now we move from generation to the most practical part for creators, turning that one piece of content into consistent posts across every platform you use. This is where using a tool like Vizard becomes a massive time multiplier, because it eliminates the need to manually clip every single highlight from your long-form videos. You simply upload your master video, and Vizard automatically suggests the best bite-sized moments that have the highest potential for viral engagement cues built right in. That functionality alone is a colossal time saver for any creator who is dedicated to pumping out a high volume of long-form content across multiple channels. Vizard also takes over the entire scheduling process for you. You set your desired posting frequency once, and the AI automatically cues those clips for publication. You get one central content calendar where you can preview every single clip, make any final tweaks you want, and publish across all socials right from that one unified dashboard. That beat-by-beat management of your content flow is what truly separates the hobby uploads from the creators who are serious about consistent, measurable growth online. If we compare this workflow to other options out there, some platforms generate videos with amazing fidelity, but completely fail to solve the essential distribution problem. Others might be incredibly expensive, perhaps have annoying policy blocks you constantly fight, or only give you inconsistent results for audio and voice control. Vizard bridges that crucial gap. It doesn't try to replace your creative generation tools, but makes the necessary grind of repurposing and publishing totally manageable. One final practical tip concerns privacy and policy filters. AI studios often reject prompts or images because they accidentally trigger a safety filter. If your upload keeps getting blocked repeatedly, the best workaround is to generate a completely fresh reference image using the same tool and use that as your new input instead. Also, actively avoid words that you suspect will trigger those strict safety filters, and instead, just rephrase your request to get around the block. Be prepared for some trial and error because it is absolutely part of the game. But a little patience on this front really does pay off in the end. On the budget side of things, V2 type models are almost always cheaper and much faster to run. But remember, they frequently lack that essential audio synchronization feature. V3 will generally be pricier, but it delivers those better, more fully integrated results right out of the box for your primary creative needs. If you're on the fence between the two for a specific project, my advice is to use V2 for initial rapid testing and then switch over to V3 for your final high-quality renders. And again, if you are an eligible student, definitely verify your status with the platform because you might score those extra free months to push your projects forward. So let's quickly recap the entire workflow in 3 simple, actionable steps for you to follow starting today. 1. Craft that incredibly tight prompt, making sure to clearly separate your character, action, scene setting, and any required speech elements. 2. Generate the primary video using V3 for the best synced output. And remember, if you need pitch-perfect voice control, run that audio through a service like 11 Labs afterwards. 3. Deploy Vizard to automatically extract all those viral clips, schedule them perfectly across your socials, and manage your entire content calendar from one spot. The generator gets you those raw, amazing creative assets, but Vizard is what turns those assets into a truly consistent, revenue-generating content engine. Here is one last creativity booster. If you ever get stuck figuring out better camera moves or need superior phrasing for your prompt, write a small helper prompt for the AI. You can ask it to rewrite prompt with 1-sentence camera movement and 1-sentence cinematic lighting, then output the full generation prompt for your idea. I personally keep a small library of these prompt templates, so I never have to start the entire creative process from a blank, intimidating page again. So yes, you can absolutely create pro-looking videos very fast with just a single prompt, but the real secret sauce for growth is always that second half, turning those one-offs into a steady, predictable stream of shorts. That's precisely what Vizard excels at. Auto-editing, auto-scheduling, and giving you a complete calendar that keeps your socials active without completely burning you out in the process. If you want the exact prompts I used for that post-apocalyptic scene, the Lagos music clip, the Atlanta rap scene, and the Pixel King animation, I'll drop those into my channels for you to grab. Go grab those, tweak them immediately, and make them uniquely yours because the technology is wild. But the real edge comes from your workflow. Generate amazing raw assets, and then use a tool like Vizard to consistently scale and publish them, because that combination has been a total game changer for my creation process. Now go make something absolutely wild. And if you implement these steps, please send me a direct message with your results. I genuinely want to see how you flip one prompt into a full content pipeline.